What up? What up? What up? Web, Karan, son. Another go round. We're gonna rock with this as far as the official things. Essex County all day edition here. Actually, kind of excited. I always say that, right? But I got my man coming on. One of alumni with me over at Immaculate here, putting a lot of work on the athletic fields. Even more importantly, putting a lot of work in the classrooms, which paid dividend to obviously what he's got going on with his life right now and just the man that he's become here. Very proud of him. Looking forward to just chopping it up, just having some conversation with him, catching up with him. So it'd be great. So just hold on tight. Hey, Troy, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm good. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Thank you for taking some time out here.
Definitely. I appreciate you reaching out. Looking forward to catching up.
Nah, cool, man. How you been?
Real good.
Good.
Yeah.
It's the weather down there. I see the sun seeping through them blinds there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's in the 70s today.
Okay. I think actually where I'm at is supposed to get to about 60, 70 or something like that. I'm in Connecticut these days, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that is kind of good news. I know you get that nice weather down there in Durham there, so that's cool, man.
Yeah, we don't have much spring. We get a couple weeks and then it gets real hot.
Yeah. So how long you been in position? How long you been?
So I started back at Duke in October 2018. So just a little over two years, almost 3 years, 2.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, good stuff, man. I know. Is it part of the school requirement, man? As far as employment there, y'all gotta wear Duke blue every day.
Yeah, gotta represent the brand. Gotta represent the brand.
Nah, absolutely. I'm just messing with you, man. Family, everybody's good. I mean, I know it's been crazy out here. Obviously,
it's real good, man. So just stepping back a little bit, we had our first child in July of 2018.
Congrats.
And then we moved here in October, moved from Virginia to Durham, and we just had our second child in August.
Okay, so
the kids are good. The kids are in great health. The parents, we've been through some things these past couple of years.
Yeah. A boy, girl, mix.
Girl, boy. So yeah,
okay.
Oldest is a girl, and we just had a boy.
You done?
I'm done.
Yeah. You got both of them, man. That's good stuff, man.
Yeah, we got a good set.
And I know being that young, and obviously, man, it's probably been some trying times, especially with this pandemic and everything, them being so young and having to be kind of like in the crib a little bit. So I know it's been some trying times, man.
No doubt. We're fortunate. We're in a really good area, a good neighborhood, and we had a little space to get outside. I couldn't imagine living in the city over the past year and not really being able to get out. But as my wife says, she has some PTSD from being pregnant and in a house and in 100-degree weather in North Carolina. So it was we can laugh about it now, but definitely tough times.
Definitely, man. And I know when they get older, be nice little story to tell with them. Like all the stuff I've been through with you too.
No, yeah.
Absolutely,
no
man. But yeah, I know when we talked the other day, man. Like I said, you caught wind of this, and I know you were requested by a few people here just to kind of catch up and just what have you there, so I was trying to make sure I keep the wolves off me here, but more importantly, outside I ain't worried about it, but my main thing was just kind of just reaching out to people, like I mentioned, was family, and then obviously extended to, school, then obviously school, sports, and all that other stuff here, man. Yeah. So, like I said, it kind of grew some legs, and it's just been cool just to catch up. And like I told you, I don't even like talking. That's the crazy thing. I know my wife is like, you don't even talk. I was like, I know. So, but it's
doing
been cool.
Good, man. This has been really good.
Nah, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man. So that's kind of like, the crux of it and how things kind of jumped off. So, and like I said, I just try to catch up with people when I can and work around their schedules or what have you here, man. And I think it's just good to once in a while just kind of take a trip down memory lane, but also just kind of what things are going on, in regards to people's life. People might see things like, you know what, let me just get off my ass and kind of get my life together because it's not over. So it could be like, whether him or her just having, some setbacks here, but just to see some people, doing well or even sharing their stories of how they have overcome stuff too, man, throughout the years, man. So it's definitely serves a purpose, multiple purposes. So it's been good on that end, man.
Good, man. I'm glad to hear that. So what, how'd you get into this? Like what made you?
Sure, no problem. At the top of the year, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do something totally left of me, my personality and everything else. I just like, you know what? And I know this kind of been, I guess, cliche the thing to do. Some people with these podcasts or whatever. I don't even want to call it that, but I guess that's what it, morphed into. So it's basically like the top of the year, I was like, I'm going to do something totally, something I didn't want to do. And I think actually when I turned 40, a few years back, I wanted to actually just catch people and actually film them and just have some conversations. So, somehow that fell through. And I was like, you know what? I think I can probably catch people now, just obviously with video chats and everything else. Yeah. So let me just try to just do it. And it was initially, like I said, for my family, man. And I was just like, with folks being home and everything. And again, like I told you, not the most talkative person I am, but I just want to ultimately, I do like a, little curveball to get them on, get them online here, what have you here, but ultimately just tell them just how much people, if they're meant to me. So that's kind of how it just snowballed into all of this here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it's crazy too, because it's just like, I got people like just like DMing me like, yo, I'm a legend and I need to be on your show. I'm just like, it's not even all about
It's not about that,
yeah. Obviously some people's had some, some accolades and some achievements here, but yeah, so I'm just kind of like, so some people I'll be having to like, honestly, I have to curve them, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Yeah, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Yeah, but no, so that's what it is, man. And I know just on your end here. Now, I was trying to figure out for the life of me, Orange, East Orange, North, where are you from?
I'm from Orange.
You know what? That's why I was struggling with. I was like, why I don't know where Troy lives. So he is Orange.
Yeah, so my older brother, he's 5 years old, I think.
I remember your brother.
Yeah. You guys played summer leagues and those type of stuff together, or against each other. And he went to MKA actually.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember the Sheffields. You remember Gretchen Sheffield?
That name rings a bell. Yes,
yeah. So I think she was a couple of years older than you. She went to Immaculate, ran track.
Okay, so I know you're talking about.
Family, and that's how I, because I was at a little Catholic school in Maplewood, and my parents wanted to get us close to each other since he was right up the road in Bloomfield. It didn't work out for me at MKA. In fact, I failed the entrance exam when I was young or whatever. I was too disruptive. So I went to Little Immaculate, and it's the best thing that could have ever happened to me. It was fantastic, especially the way it was set up too, because I feel like I know so many people from the high school that I didn't go to school with because of the proximity. And, playing basketball, Mr. Allen,
right.
Kenyon, that crew, Jason, just sitting around watching those games and practices, it was great for me. So once I got in, I think I started there in third grade. That's the only place I wanted to be. And glad I did make that choice because it was a great experience.
Nah, cool. Now, where in Orange or did you grow up at?
I lived on Berkeley Ave.
Okay.
Orange Ave was so big. I'm
familiar with Berkeley Ave. That's
okay.
Not too far from the high school. Like,
Going
into 7
I'm trying to think. There was a
stuff.
retirement home. We used to call it a White House. I don't know if that was his actual name, but it was right at the end of our road. Shoot, I'm awful with names too. I think it's right off. Was it off of Tremont? It might have been off of Tremont. But yeah, right around the corner from Orange High,
Mm-hmm.
right around the corner from Central Park. That's where we used to walk over to play summer league games.
Yeah.
So yeah. Who was it? I had a few spots. So right around the corner from the White Castles and
That's right.
Yeah. So right there.
Nah, cool, man. As far as even with sports, so when did you just start playing? Actually, I mean, obviously, I know you play basketball. I mean, any other interests? Obviously, football. Ultimately, I know.
Yeah. So I mean, when I was young, my dad is from Trinidad, so he had my brother and I playing soccer.
Okay.
And that's what I was into soccer and basketball. But so I was able to play kind of middle school soccer, but Immaculate didn't have soccer. So once I got to high school, I was just gonna play basketball. That's what I grew up loving. And that's all I really wanted to do. I thought I was gonna be 6'5", 6'6".
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work out, but still had a decent high school hoop career. It's probably a couple weeks into school, Coach Finn had hit me up a couple times about coming out to play football. And it's not that I was worried about being hurt. I just had never played, and I didn't think I'd be good. And then I went out to a game and thought, okay, maybe I could do this. I went to a freshman game, and a couple weeks later, I decided to go out for it. And I still remember the first game I played in. I didn't know how to get in the 3-point stand, and Coach Taylor had to come over on the sideline and show me how to get down the stands because I think I may only gone through one practice, and the school was so small, they needed all those bodies,
right.
And I got thrown right into a game and didn't know what I was doing. So, but enjoyed it, man. Enjoyed the camaraderie. Enjoyed the action, and like a lot of things, it is when you're young. If you enjoy it that much, you just try to pick it up on your own time.
Absolutely.
So started working out probably sophomore year during the summers with Coach Finn and Coach Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
As also sophomore year too, Finn was pushing me into track. You know how it go. And I didn't really. I threw the shot put, and for 1 week, practiced for a week, went to the meet, sat around for. I think you threw the shot too, right?
No, I'm gonna share what happened with me, but go ahead.
Yeah. I threw. I got to a meet, sat around for an hour, waited. I fouled 3 times. I said I'm never doing this again.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up playing baseball.
Okay.
And and it's these little moments because Immaculate was so small, and this is why it was helpful for me. Whenever I kind of found an interest, there was someone there, whether it be Coach Taylor, Coach Finn, even Mr. Allen, who was still kind of coaching us up during the summers,
right,
to help us work on our discipline. So in terms of practicing the sport, and with baseball, I remember Coach Jay. I think were you in school with Jay McManus?
Oh, he wound up being one of the coaches. Yeah, McManus.
Yeah. So and he used to come pick me up on Sunday mornings and let me hit in the cage in the gym. I was an awful baseball player, but still enjoyed it and enjoyed the experience.
Nah, and to your point, just for Immaculate, man, like I think they just throw you in, not purposely, but just to kind of get you involved in a whole lot of things here. At least I don't feel as bad when you talked about your track stories. So mine is kind of similar. I was, again, Coach Finn. It was like, hey, go out for track or whatever, because I really was trying to like not do that at all. So like the running part, no way. Yeah. So he was just like the field. So he wanted to have me do the javelin. Troy, I think I went to like one dual meet. That javelin was twirling in the air instead of going straight. And actually, I talked to Gil just recently too, and I shared that when I was just like, yeah, this is messing my cool up. I gotta get out of here. Yeah, this is definitely like stagnate me, man. So I was done after that. So actually, they were cool enough to let me just go play baseball. Actually, just my freshman year. So I wound up playing my freshman year, and I didn't play again baseball to my senior. But and I think track and field is great, especially if you can make the connection and you get you get learning how to do it. I think it's great, but it's just not for me. It wasn't for me.
Immaculate was so good too. That was we had
absolutely.
But yeah,
totally.
It wasn't for me.
Yeah, man, yeah. Now I know, even kind of just going back just a tad bit, I know, so you played basketball. I know, did you start playing like 3rd, 5th grade or what have you?
Yeah. So I picked up basketball really early.
Okay.
And you mentioned Gil. So I think we had like a 5th and 6th grade team at Little Immaculate.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was me, a kid named Bruce Page.
I remember Bruce, right?
Yeah, he passed away this year, unfortunately. And then Reggie and Bruce. And we kind of rose together. Reggie and Bruce. Reggie and Gil, I should say. Reggie and Gil carried us until Omar got there in 7th grade. But it was fun kind of growing up in the sport with them, with Mr. Allen, Mr. Coleman. Mm-hmm. We had some great teams. We had a lot of fun. But I think Mr. Allen knew how good we were. He used to take us on the road to these tournaments during the summer. He had us playing in high school games. He really got us. So a lot of the success, especially that core group had, I think can be attributed to, again, the work people put into us early and taught us how to prepare, really, not even so much about basketball, but taught us how to work hard and practice and taught us how to compete. And then, we got fortunate once we got in high school, it was, for a small school as it was, talent rich,
Right.
I think my year, in addition to Omar and I, Sean Red, Sean Morse, college football players, John Lauderham, college basketball player, and then a couple years ahead of us, Phil. What's Phil's last name?
Phil Hunt, right?
Phil Hunt, yeah, he went. Yeah. You guys set the stage for kind of some great teams. Attracted a lot of great talent to Immaculate, and I think it was an exciting run. I think, for the school.
No, absolutely, man, and it's interesting. I know you shared the whole freshman thing as far as just not even getting into 3-point stance here. So, so once that's accomplished, do you just take off? Do you play freshman or you play varsity? They get you up the varsity right away?
Yeah, so I played most of that year in the freshman team, just learning how to play the game. And what was it? Usually around the Thanksgiving game, they bring up a few freshmen.
Okay.
So they brought O and I up for those games. Omar, he might have been playing already. I don't even remember.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just sitting on the bench watching. And trying to learn. I just tried to work at it. It's really because I didn't want to embarrass myself. Like, that's why I was, not to say I didn't at times, but that's why I was doing hitting lessons on Sunday mornings, because I just didn't want to embarrass myself. And then I was fortunate with football. Some things kind of came to me naturally that probably developed through basketball and soccer.
Right.
But yeah, so, and again, there's a case. I still, even though by my sophomore year, junior year, it's pretty good. I wasn't thinking about playing in college, but Finn, who always seemed to have other plans for people, he really started to. Again, with you guys, he started to place people in college, getting some looks, and he did a lot of work on behalf of Gil, Reggie, and I, in terms of getting films out and making relationships with coaches, and really appreciate everything he did for me. And Mal too. I forgot Mal is back
Coach
there.
Mal, Coach Mal, absolutely, man. And I know, so with basketball, so you have football, basketball. So basketball obviously came to you, and you guys were, and you mentioned that whole core group that came from the elementary school on to high school here. So how was it? Even, I know you only got a year, you had a year with them, but how was it that freshman year you had Coach Jim Bryan in town?
Oh, he was, he was great. He was great. He was a lot of fun, man. you could tell he was another level in terms of how he went about practice, the intensity. That charge drill he used to run all the time. People used to get put up on the stage or in the wall. Most of that year I played freshman in JV, but I'd come up a couple times.
Okay.
Especially for the tournament. Who's it? Because it had Big Al Florence and a few others at a post, and I just wasn't as good as Omar and Gil to be getting regular time. So, for the first part of the year I was freshman JV. Then I was just JV and some varsity because of the whole how many hours you can play. But I loved it, man. I loved the way he went about practice. I loved the way he challenged you. I was I watched your interview with him last week. Mm-hmm. Come to find out, someone I work with at Duke has known him all his life. So I hope to get up to Raleigh here soon because I'm only 30 minutes away.
I'm about to say, you next door, right next door.
Yeah. When in fact, did you go down and visit him?
Yeah, we went down. EJ and Jakeem, we went down about 2 years ago. Popped up on him.
One of my coworkers was at that game and sent me the picture of you guys. Like, you remember these guys?
Okay.
Wow. So that's when I realized he was here, and I was like, I got to get over there. So, there's a couple immaculate people. I don't know if you knew Kathy Badia. She's down here teaching.
Right, I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Man, it's a small world. It's a small world.
Totally, man. Totally. So, but hopefully, because we did mention to him, I think you just probably got hired or about a year in where you're at. And we mentioned it to him. I was just like, you only a call, you could probably throw a rock over there. That's how close you are now. So I know. So hopefully you guys will get to connect when this thing kind of calms down here.
That'd be good.
Once you realize, like, you know what, I could probably make something of myself here in one of these sports. I mean, I know you alluded to, doing things on Sunday, which is great. Some people don't even realize some of the stuff like people do to get to where they are. Like you mentioned Sundays as far as just having to, put in that extra work here. But when did it click? Like, I might got something going here.
Probably after my sophomore year.
Okay.
I got a letter. It was from like Hawaii, but before that point, I had never thought about playing football in college.
Okay.
And Hawaii never actually recruited me, but that's when Finn was like, well, others will come and other coaches will come down here. So the only thing I think when it really stuck me was I remember my mom being so happy. She and I didn't really talk about it, but she was talking to one of her friends and I was in the other room and she was like, she was stressing because she didn't know how she'd afford for me to go to college.
Yeah.
Where I could find the money. But it's like, I guess she had that conversation with Finn and realization hit her like, oh, wait, somebody's going to pay for him to go to play football in college. I remember her being so happy and I was just being like, all right, well, again, got to put that work in. It was about that time when we started. I still didn't lift like I should have because I didn't know what, that was a naivety. I still thought I was a basketball player and didn't want to mess up my non-existent jump shot. But I started lifting more and started training more during the summer. And And then we got really good too. So that helped too. I mean, our junior year, we were really good. And I had a good season too, so I kind of leaned into that more, and I guess I let Tober swoop my head up a little bit too with some of his articles and press clippings. So you start to feed in all that, and we had a good basketball season too. But it's right around that time after sophomore year and starting junior year, started to realize, well, this could be something good for us.
Yeah, you mentioned that junior year. I mean, special year. How was it, man? I mean, I think my understanding sort of be your sophomore year. I know you had to go down in that monsoon and play. Yeah. And then obviously coming back the following year, did you sense like hey, this might be something here.
Yeah. So that monsoon, that year was really frustrating too because I sprained my ankle in that game, and I was only playing offensive line, and I tried to play and just couldn't get it going. I had a high ankle sprain. I was out for 2-3 weeks. I was set back in basketball, so I was young and kind of caught up in being hurt. But it was right after basketball season. Actually, it might have even been during preseason. I might be mixing this up too, but I remember Finn just got fired up at us because we were joking around and we weren't really doing our pre-practice workouts and just kind of hanging out. And he came out and started cursing at us, and he's like, "Look, if you want to be the best wedging team in the country, because we used to we used to have all those traditions." He's like, "Well, you ain't gonna win many games," and I remember that kind of sticking with me. I don't want to say it was preseason early in the year, where it was like, "Look, we got to turn this on. We do have something special here." That first game of the year was Verona on TV.
Okay.
And we were pumped up for it, and Verona was supposed to be pretty good, and we worked them over. And, Omar had this spectacular catch that I still rank up there with some other ones I've been around for, and we kind of ran all over them, and that's where the ego started kicking. Like, wait, we're gonna be really good. We're gonna be really good. We were fortunate too. Gil was a great leader.
Yeah.
Reggie, in his own way, was too. The team took a lot of confidence from those two, and those two had enough confidence to give out.
Oh yeah, you know that, right?
They believed in themselves. They believed in their teammates. I drew a lot of energy because Gil used to pick at me all the time, but I knew it was because he thought I could be really good. It was just one of those deals where we were great friends, but he was always pushing me to be better. And I remember one time before a game, it might have been that Verona game. I was kind of sitting there real nervous, and as we were walking out, he leaned over and kissed me on the back of my head. I said, "What in the world are you doing, man? What's going on?" And he's like, "Man, stop worrying and go out and have some fun out here." Yeah. And he had a great leadership instinct in that way.
Nah, definitely, man. And I think it's contagious, man, to your point, man. It seeps through everybody else, man. And then you guys get going and nobody could block you, man. And I think it ultimately came to that. It ultimately came to that, the double teams and whatever the case is to stop you here, man. Obviously, the Gills, the Reggies, the Omars did their thing, but as far as being on the line, no one could block you, or you know what I mean. And I think, obviously, I get that championship, I get that chip, which was great. And
we should have had two.
I was going to ask you what happened. What happened that following year?
Yeah. I mean, there's two different phases to all of it now. There's the ascension where you're kind of underdog and you got a chip on your shoulder and you want to announce that you're there. But then when you get up there, you got to be ready to fight off everybody because you're getting everybody's best stuff. And we probably weren't ready for. I mean, we weren't ready for that. I mean, we had a couple of losses we shouldn't have had where just got too distracted with other stuff.
Okay.
So that's why you see these teams repeating stuff. It's special when they can avoid a lot of the distractions and stay disciplined and stay smart. I mean that junior year, not only did we have a great football season, we had a great basketball season.
Right.
We knocked off Marist, who was, I think they were 11th in the state or something like that. We finished ranked in the state that year. And, we probably got in our head, well, it's just going to be this easy. We had Omar coming back, had a lot of the guys coming back, and we probably relaxed and thinking that our talent would carry us through, not realizing, again, everybody was coming after us. Particularly those teams we whipped up in the playoffs, and that's where we tripped up. I mean, they were game planning for us all year. So
yeah, you guys are the 100.
Yeah. So I give it to Finn and Taylor and Mal. They built off our successes, yours included, and really had I believe one of the dynasties in Essex Catholic when you think about kind of those early 90s through the early 2000s. I mean, there was just so much success. And, you started that, man. It's stories like you, and you got to tell me if this is true, that when you guys lost to Glen Ridge,
ain't I supposed to be the one asking the questions?
I was thinking about that. I was about to talk. I was like, you got to understand, man, when you hear, kind of the forefathers are competing like that, the expectation is that we compete like that and live up to that. So, I heard that story kind of junior year or something like that. I'm like, well, is it true? Like you just said, forget it and walked home?
I started walking home. I turned around. Went back and took my equipment off. I probably made it a block or two down the I didn't get all the way quite down. I don't know if Handy Dandy's or the barbershop is still there. Yeah, I didn't make it quite to the barbershop, but I wound up my cousin or somebody told me to take my ass back and take my equipment off and let's go home and get this turkey. Go eat. But I mean, because again, obviously, even back, it was the streak of beating them, and then obviously we come up short and for whatever reason, and so I just like to feel and kind of just bounce my equipment, man.
Hey man, because it was expectation to win, man. That's what builds on itself, and I know the championships we had, the championships in the early 2000s. I mean, that was because of people like you and the way you competed and the expectation you had in going out and winning.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I know you mentioned, so who did y'all wind up losing to senior year, like in the States?
Oh, was it St. Mary's? Was it St. Mary's or St. Joe's Hamilton?
Y'all make it back to the championship, or y'all lose the round before?
We lost round before, which was annoying because I think we got a bye, and in that year they just opened it up where all groups be invited to the Meadowlands to play.
Oh yeah.
And so so we didn't even make it there. That was frustrating.
And then basketball, your senior year, how'd you guys do?
Yeah, we got upset in the second round. So our coach at the time, Tisdale, great guy. I was actually, as we were about to talk, I was thinking about that. And, I'm old now and seeing how other coaches have prepared. So I remember the week leading up to that first game, because again, we were like a 1 or 2 seed. We got a bye. Mm-hmm. And we anticipated playing St. Patrick's.
Okay.
They had Shaheen Holloway.
Right.
And, Omar played AAU with him. So during that week of practice, Coach Tisdale starts prepping for St. Pat's. Like kind of assuming. Assuming. Now, I'm not, look, again, we were probably a little too full of ourselves. The chemistry wasn't there like it was the year before. We lost, 95, my junior year, we took Irvington to overtime, who eventually won it all in the ECT. And then my senior year, we got blown out by Science. Mm-hmm. And we probably just didn't, we're probably more talented, but not the same chemistry.
Okay.
And, and looking at how I contributed to that, I was probably too focused on my college recruiting process, which was mostly through the I think it had been completed by basketball, but because that was in February when I signed, but I probably got a little too distracted from keeping eyes on the prize, and we were a younger team, we hadn't played together. We just had too many too many chemistry issues.
Okay.
And then we ended up getting upset in the second round of the state tournament.
Okay. Now you mentioned college, so I mean, again, you got some decisions to make, man. And I know, obviously, just from getting that letter to Hawaii to actually being recruited, man. I mean, but that's real cool, man. So, well, besides where you ultimately ended up at, what other schools were you considering? Did you do any other visits? Or
so the first school that really recruited me was Syracuse.
Okay.
And again, I hadn't been outside Jersey much and kind of, wasn't aware what it was like. But I remember going up there to visit during the summer, and one of the first people I saw was Donovan McNabb.
Okay.
And so, I'm 6'2", 230, 240, and McNabb walks by me, and I felt little, man. I mean, he's all of 6'5". He was probably 225. I'm like, damn, this is different. But yeah, talked to their head coach, Pasqualoni. Their offensive coordinator had been real good in recruiting me, and I was probably leaning there for a while. I never went on an official visit there, but they were definitely my number two.
Okay.
Especially because it was so close to home. I remember once went with a lot of hands. It was me, Dave, John. I forget who else, but we drove up to go see Allen Iverson play in the Carrier Dome up there too. So it was a great environment.
I'm sure getting nudged from the Syracuse fan that Dave is, then you know what I mean, the little nudge them. I'm glad that things worked out because, I mean, again, that could have just blew your whole recruitment, man, as far as even making it to Duke, hanging out, partying with those guys.
So that's what I heard, that it was a good time up there.
Yeah, I'm glad, messing with them, man, yeah. No, I'm just messing around. Those are my guys.
No, it's good people, man. It's real good people. I shows a lot, too, when I told them I wasn't going to go there. Their coach was really good to me. Mm-hmm. And wished me all the luck in the world. The other school I was really looking at closely was Virginia Tech.
Okay.
And that's when they had just started to become Virginia Tech. Mm-hmm. I think that year they had been invited to the Sugar Bowl, and I went down there. And, it was a great experience, beautiful campuses, probably a little too big for me, coming from Little Immaculate. And it felt like I was going deep in the South, but so yeah. And then with Duke, who had just been to a bowl game while they were recruiting me, I felt like we were kind of on an upward trajectory, and then the academic portions of it, so it kind of goes back to, I grew up a basketball player, and then I never really thought I was going to be a college football player, so. Mm-hmm. Combined those two things and thought, well, I got this degree here that I know will carry me forward.
Right.
After it played, I really connected with folks on my trip, and think about those first few years, or that first year. Again, I kind of appreciated where I was and the people I ended up committing myself to in terms of the coaches and teammates.
Yeah, how's even before you get to campus here, you got one more game to play in New Jersey. So the North-South game, man, how was that? So you got to go to Giant Stadium. Did they play at Giant Stadium, or was it?
No, they played at Rutgers.
Okay.
They just moved it to Rutgers.
Okay.
And that helped me at least a little bit mentally. Like, okay, this is what the speed of the game is going to look like. Because there were some things. I remember talking to one of a lot of hands, John. There was a couple. In my high school games, I could make a swim move behind somebody and still make a tackle behind the line of scrimmage and get a running back. I did that a couple times in that game, and I couldn't catch the guy. So I just saw the speed was greatly enhanced. And in fact, my roommate during that week was a guy named Marcel Ship, who went to UMass. They won a national championship there, and he ended up playing 4 or 5 years with the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay, I remember that name. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, he was a really good player. Who, I don't think Quentin Spotwood was in that game. So yeah, just seeing the pace of things helped me. That summer, actually got with Phil Hunt's uncle, a guy named Ian, and he started training us, man. We started lifting harder, and we used to run that hill in Maplewood, or I guess South Orange, by the train station there.
I know, okay, yeah. Used to go snow sledding down there.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's where we started kicking in the training. That's what that game kind of sparked me to realize, like, look, I gotta get in shape. Now, I still wasn't all the way ready where I need to be, but I think that did help me out a little bit.
So how's that transition going to Duke, this being on campus, man? You talking about, obviously, the football side of it, but even socially, everything, man. You leaving Jersey and leaving moms, and you're not on 33 College Place anymore. I mean, you're in a bigger surround. Like, just how was that whole adjustment period? Because there's a lot going on. I know you're there for pre-season, but it's still an adjustment. Yeah.
It was crazy, too. And then, you mentioned my mom. So my mom had battled breast cancer probably my middle school through high school. Mm-hmm. And then when I was leaving, she was so sick, she couldn't make the drive down with me to check me into school with my dad and myself. So, and then that first semester, she got worse to the point where at one point they just flew me back home to kind of, say my last well wishes. So it was rough hearing her on the phone. School was tough. Yeah. It was a whole nother. I mean, just as tough as it was on the field, it was that tough in the classroom for me. Mm-hmm. And at one point, I was just like, forget it. I'm going home. I'm transferring to Syracuse. And my mom was having none of that. She knew the value of a Duke degree. She was a teacher. She taught it week weight. Okay. And I think North 13th Street Tech. So yeah, she knew the power of the Duke degree. She had Coach Finn call me. Mm-hmm. Finn's not the most sentimental guy, but it's just like, you're staying, Troy. That's it. Yeah, straightforward. Yeah. Stick it out. So I'm appreciative of that now. So that first semester was rough. I literally almost failed out. I had a GPA of 0.9. Mm-hmm. So I was fortunate. Not even a 1 in front of that? 0.9? It was back in the day, too. We used to have to call to get our grades. Yeah. And the woman on the phone, I joked about it later. I was like, she tried to be so polite and saying that I got an F. But I was like, F is an F. Right. But yeah, I failed. I had 5 classes. I failed 3 of them. Got a D in 1 and like a C- in the 5th. And my coach, the head coach, was mad because my mom passed away early December, and finals were the week after that. Yeah. And he was like, "Why'd you go take finals?" But at the end of the day, I probably wasn't ready. I mean, I just wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for those classes. So got smarter about classes. Mm-hmm. It's crazy too, because all through high school and even elementary school, I never missed class. But then in college, I skipped classes. I'm like, that freedom, man. Yeah. I again lost that discipline, got distracted. And that's what really set me back, and wasn't ready for finals, but fortunately that wasn't, I forget what the cutoff, I think it was like 0.7 was the cutoff for failing out. So I survived to live another day and took advantage of that, and really dedicated myself in the weight room and those type of things, and in the classroom and all the tutors they would provide, I would take them. Ended up taking summer school. But my sophomore year, I didn't even come back home for the summer. It was just working out down there. I'd come back for a week or something like that.
Okay. Now you got redshirt your freshman year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you get going, man, as far as being able to actually play in the game, man. How was it for you, man? I know it was a huge level of excitement, nervousness.
Yeah.
You didn't have Gil.
It was great, man. It was my eyes were wide open. I backed up a guy for most of my career. He ended up playing in the league, but still played enough to have to prepare for games. That first game I played against a guy, Trey Thomas. He was a tackle for the Eagles for a long time, all pro.
Yes.
And I came off the ball, and even in practice, I had a pretty good bull rush. I came off the ball and hit him right in his chest and started to try to drive. And he just started laughing a little bit, like, "Oh, like hey, young fella." And then he just kind of politely stopped my momentum and kind of kept still. So, yeah, it was a learning experience. That was my first college game ever.
Okay.
And the first pro player I lined up against, but I would add as I got older and better. I beat out some future NFL players as well. So, one of my best games was against a guy who on Maryland. He ended up playing. He played a couple years in the league. He was their center, and I had 2 sacks and I think 3 or 4 tackles and a couple for a loss. But I remember that game because it was in Durham. And that was the first time Omar and I
was going to ask if you
going to Maryland had kind of faced up against each other.
Okay.
So we were talking trash on the field. He ended up winning. But yeah, we stayed connected while we were in school. And another guy, Sean Red, he played at
Lehigh or something like that, right? Was it Lehigh?
Yeah, Lehigh. Oh, that was I think maybe he was Bucknell. He was like all Patriot.
It was a Patriot League. I knew it was a Patriot League.
Yeah. He was a great college player. So we all kept in contact and kind of kept up with each other as we went along. But yeah, so a few times O and I had a chance just to talk trash on the field.
Mm-hmm. Then just how was it, man? Just in general, just playing in these stadiums with thousands of people versus barely getting. Versus Cody Field.
The atmosphere at Cody Field was great, and those 2,000 made some noise, and our 10 cheerleaders and no band, they got it going, but going to Tallahassee.
Yeah, that's when they were Florida State. That's when they were Florida State, right?
Yeah. And they were, There was one year we played them. My senior year, we played them the week after they lost to Miami, and they had 8 pros on the field, and the quarterback was Winky. He might have won the Heisman the year before. I lose track of all that. Anywho, we thought they were going to run the ball because they were having trouble running the ball, and we thought they were going to, get the run game going against us. They threw the ball. They ran the ball once for 4 yards, but finished the half with 390 yards. All they did was run go routes and screens. Once they ran 3 screens in a row at us. And, I just remember trying to chase each one down like, damn, this is bull. Yeah. But yeah, so that was tough. But so I guess it must have been my redshirt freshman year or sophomore year going down there, and they have Chief Osceola throw that flaming spear at the sideline. I was like, man, I know I'm supposed to be in game mode, but I was like, that's pretty cool, man. That's, they got 90,000 people going too now. It was, same thing in Clemson, man. They call it Death Valley because when you're on the field, you can barely see the top of the stadium. They come running down and touching the rock, and so yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool. ACC was pretty good at that time. I think Georgia Tech was at the top of the league, or it was Virginia, Georgia Tech. Florida State was way above everybody else. So yeah, North Carolina was good. They had a bunch of pros. So yeah, it was good, man. You know, biggest thing I took away from it was learning how to prepare. My position coach was really big on watching film, doing the extra little things, and just learning how to prepare to compete. And then, had the same thing carried over to the classroom, man. Those classes are so dang tough. I had to treat it like I was getting ready for a game.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I know you ultimately become captain, don't you, down there?
Yeah.
You become
captain. Yeah, it was interesting deal. I didn't start until my senior year, but I think my teammates respected the work I put in, how I went about preparing, my abilities, and my coach told me at one point during the season I was unanimously voted as captain. So
that's good stuff, man.
That was definitely appreciate that honor. I wish the season had turned out a little better. Didn't want, we had a really rough year. But, again, as I keep throwing out there, I'm old now, so I can kind of pull from those moments some learning elements that I'll benefit from moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Did you have, once you were done, did you have any aspirations to play pro?
Yeah, I thought about it, and if I'm honest with myself, I probably should have been an offensive lineman in college, and there was some talk about maybe trying to convert myself for workouts, and I talked to my position coach about it a little bit, and decided I was just gonna move on. I didn't want to. It's not. I won't say it's not a regret, but just learning as one of those decisions. I was ready to try something else, put my Duke degree to work, and in fact, I had two offers from the school. I mean, lower. One was a graduate assistant position to coach, and one was a administrative intern position, and that's where I kind of decided after talking to my position coach, like, dude, here's what coaching looks like. Here's what being an administrator looks like. I chose the administrative route, and it was good. I think it's a better fit for who I was. Got to work in the athletic department for a year and a half, and worked events. I think my first year of work, the men's basketball team won a national championship. So, and I was cool with some of those guys, so got to kind of see that behind the scenes. So I definitely thought about pros. I had a bunch of my teammates that played in the pros, and it's one of those things too. You see some people you played against that you played well against that you're like, if they did it, I could have. So there were some of those moments early, but things work out for the way they do sometimes.
No, absolutely, man. But you mentioned the whole administrative route. So that takes you from once you leave the position at Duke. That's when you get your first AD job?
No. So I went to grad school at VCU.
Okay.
In Richmond. So I lived in Richmond for a couple of years. And then actually out of grad school I had two offers. One to work in pro football and one to work at a college in Kentucky. And one of my mentors told me, like, look, if you have a chance to work pro, at least check it out. It'll be easier to work pro and then move back down versus trying to move up the pro if you're in college. So
Okay.
I did that. I worked for NFL Coaches Association, lived in DC. That was great. Met a lot of guys who are head coaches now. I remember talking to Mike Tomlin one night, just talking shop at a bar. He was a defensive back coach for the Buccaneers at the time, and got to see Tony Dungy, hold a meeting, and I'm trying to think of the former Giants head coach or defensive coordinator who became a head coach. He and I were pretty good friends, or he was pretty helpful to me in that role. So, but ultimately, I decided I didn't love working in the pros, and wanted to get back on a college campus.
Okay.
And from there, I went to this tiny school outside of Richmond, Virginia called Longwood. I was there for about 8 months. The AD left to take a job, and the president asked me to become AD.
Okay.
So it's kind of right place, right time, and held on that spot for 12 years.
How'd you like it? I mean, obviously you stayed 12 years, so you obviously must have liked it some, but just being around sports, and obviously I'm sure there's a lot of administrative stuff you was
That's why I tell people I got administration. I get to go to games free. I got great parking and great tickets for games.
Absolutely.
But no, I was in over my head. I was 28, trying to run an athletic department where there were men and women who were twice my age. But so I kind of learned the job on the job. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I think, most of these Division I AD jobs, they get so much attention, and I was in such a small little town, I could kind of still be young and still learn the job and not have to worry about a whole lot. So I was fortunate there because I was still young.
No, absolutely, man, absolutely.
I was still young.
Now, one of the feathers in your cap, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but while in that position, you helped them move up to D1, I believe.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Congrats on that, man. That's good stuff,
thank
man.
You.
How was that transition just kind of with the school? I mean, was that the plan, for the school ultimately? Or was
I mean, when I started there, they were in the early stages of it, and actually got held back a year. So my first year on the job was trying to figure out how to keep moving us forward. So, I leaned on a lot of folks from my Duke years, leaned on a lot of folks from my VCU years, and then made some new friendships that really helped me out and figure out how to do the job.
Okay.
It was it was a good experience. It was just traveling a lot, just working games and working the problem of trying to get us to Division I.
And like I said, ultimately you did that. Now, your stint there, was it just pretty much like you did all you can do? It was just try to do. It was time to go do something different.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was. I mean, there's always another big project. As I was leaving, we were starting to build a new basketball facility, and our basketball teams needed to get better. I had just hired 2 coaches, but one of my old mentors from Duke called me and said that they would have a position open, and ultimately it was just like, look, I'm at a different stage in my life now, and I had just gotten married. I got married in 2017. While we were starting to set up shop in Virginia, the chance to move down to Durham, which is a little better for family. That kind of motivated me a little bit to look harder at the job, and then I would say all the athletic departments are dealing with the same type issues with student athletes, with trying to win games, with trying to build facilities. But I wanted to see it at a different level. You know, I wanted to work with Coach K.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to work with our Coach Cutcliffe, our football coach, and see what it's like at this level. And it's still the same. As someone told me, it's the same problems, but the decimal point has moved over a few spots to the right. So that draws a lot more attention, and it's been a good learning experience for me.
Now, speaking of which, like, what's like a typical day for you?
Oh,
let's say pre-pandemic. What was it like?
Yeah. So this actually today was a little normal for me in that so I oversee, I think, 10 different areas, as well as I'm the sport administrator for cross country, track and field. It got it back in my life here. So this morning I had a meeting, and then I just kind of walked around and visited with all the people, with a few different people in my area, just to check in on them. This afternoon, just got a few more meetings, and that's what it tends to be, a lot of different meetings, and a lot of counseling. I feel like a consultant in a lot of ways, trying to solve various problems that either come up financially or with different people problems that pop up in each area. So yeah, every day is a little different, which I enjoy about the job. Okay.
Nah, definitely. And to your point you mentioned earlier, you got that nice parking and you get in the games for free.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Nah, good stuff, man. And even with everything that you've accomplished up to this point, man, like what is sports giving you? I mean, that sticks with you to this day.
That's a great question. It's given me the best group of friends I could ever ask for. We all go through ups and downs. And I think the one thing I've been really good at is joining teams with great people, and that have become family, really. So it's given me that. It's given me it's extended my family. It's given me great joy in competition. It's given me a chance to funnel my energy and passion into preparing. So, and it's given me great opportunity. The college degree has been great, and that can be attributed to sports.
Absolutely.
And then I was fortunate to be able to attend a place like Duke, so which just creates opportunity after opportunity for me. So thankful for the family it's given me, and thankful for the opportunities it's provided me.
Absolutely, man. And I think anybody that does see this, man, that can tell you just how sports necessarily could take you other places as far as career-wise. Don't necessarily be exactly on the field with some shorts and some sneakers or some cleats and a helmet, man. It can take you. You can do other things with it, man, and like still be around it and still get that joy.
No doubt.
No, that's definitely that's just great, man, and I definitely appreciate all this, man. And I know you've seen some of these things here, so I'm about to just put you on the spot before I let you.
Okay.
Before you get going here. So when you somehow do gotta go back up 95 by plane or or you do drive up to Jersey here, man. When you actually get to Jersey, what we doing? We doing the Turnpike or we doing the Parkway?
Turnpike to the Parkway. Now I go.
See, now you're gonna get Duke on me here. Now you're gonna say Turnpike to the Parkway.
Yeah. It's been a while too. What's the 280 exit off the Parkway? It's coming north. Is it? No, actually, no. I think I got off in Irvington like 142. Right? Is that what it is? 142?
I forget the numbers.
You probably been in Connecticut too long. But yeah.
Man.
So riding 95 and it's been because of this pandemic. It's been a couple of years. I miss it. But still got plenty of family up there, and looking forward to the moment I can get up there, especially back to Essex County and visit folks.
Absolutely. With all that being said, you still didn't answer the question.
What's that?
Parkway or the Turnpike?
Parkway.
Cool. I'm poking some fun at you, man. You're an orange guy like me. Central Ave.
What's up?
You're an orange guy like me. Central Ave or Main Street?
Main Street.
Main Street. We on Main Street. You going to the shoe spot or you going to just take yourself to the mall or Foot Locker? As far as when you needed some sneakers?
Oh. I'm trying to think. It was the food spot.
No, the shoe spot. Remember the shoe spot?
Shoe spot. Yeah.
Shoe spot or Foot Locker? Or you got
Foot Locker.
Okay. All right, we gonna keep it on here. White Castles or sandwiches?
Oh, sandwiches unlimited.
What we getting from there?
Cool. Didn't it? They had like an Italian cheeseburger, right?
Cheese all day.
Yeah.
What you putting on it?
Oh, it was pretty basic. I just had fries, burgers. I didn't do onions back then. It was just fries and the burger, a little lettuce.
All right, cool, man. If Immaculate, the crazies in Immaculate on the Immaculate balcony, or the Camden crazies.
Oh wow, Immaculate, man. That's where the heart is. Yeah.
Okay.
The balcony folks.
Okay. Best game you ever played in your life on any level?
Oh, you talking output?
Yes.
Shoot, man, I don't know.
Or it could be for another reason you felt it was the best game you played.
You know what? I'm gonna say Mountain Lakes senior year. No, junior year, because they were still pretty good. Mountain Lakes junior year.
What made that your best game?
Because that was our biggest rival at the time. Okay. And that was kind of we talked about the Verona game earlier, but that was one of those moments where it was like, for us, we had to prove ourselves to the people in the Colonial Hills that we had arrived.
Okay.
And we worked them over pretty good. I can't remember the score, but we won easily. I think we won every game that year easily.
Okay. Nah, cool. How about throw extra one to that one? Best game you played in college? Was it the one you mentioned earlier, or was it?
Unfortunately, some of my best games came in losses, so I don't really love it. But the best one I probably have was against NC State. Phillip Rivers was a true freshman quarterback. I had 2 sacks then and 6 tackles. I was at the nose spot, and so that was probably the best one.
All right, so by you sacking him, that's the reason he throws with the little crazy mechanics now.
No. Oh, you know what? I will say in that game, I have to admit, I think why I chose that, I had sprained my knee the game before, so I didn't think I was going to play.
Okay.
So that's why that one means so much, because I did everything I needed to do during the week. It's the first time in my whole career I missed practice, and I missed practice so I could play in that game, and had a great game.
Yeah, no, good stuff, man. What's the best team you ever been on at any level?
Probably that '94 Immaculate team.
Is that the best team ever in school history?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And I'm glad. No, reason I said thank you because I asked Gil the same thing. I asked him, was he running for office? The answer he tried to give me.
Oh, he danced around it?
Yeah, yeah. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, now he's modest. 20 years later.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So, absolutely right. And I think again, I wasn't born or was young in the 70s or what have you. And like I said to Gil, I just they didn't even play state games. Then they just gave the state championship based on, the record or whatever. And again, no fault to that team at all. But I just think you guys are just loaded. You was loaded and it was Coach Finn's time, And I think also too, I recall, I think, going to the field house, I don't know if it's that year or somewhere around, he kept, he knew you guys were that good to a point where he kept the school records right in front of y'all could visibly see it from individual stats. And I think
I remember that. Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I think that just obviously added to that, man. But that was hands down, that's the best football team in school history. Again, numbers show it, the athletes show it. You guys had tons of 1 and 1AA kids on that team, and even 2 or 3 levels as far as kids play, hands down, absolutely.
Yeah. We probably had more kids that could have gone too. Some of them didn't work out, but no, I was from every aspect of it, like team chemistry, team focus, we talent. That was just kind of special.
Absolutely, man. Who's someone just in your era? Whether it's a child friend, whatever the case is, someone who should have made it. And when I say made it, meaning maybe to the college level or even or the pros.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take. I know you asked me for one. I'm gonna give you 2.
No, absolutely. Go ahead.
Think about. One is Mitch Jules.
Mitch, okay, yeah.
He played defense, and he should have played in college.
Okay.
He's one of the better people I've ever known too.
Mitch, good people. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. So, and he loved playing football. He's a great baseball player too. He's just a great athlete, and I hate that he didn't get to take advantage of his athleticism and kind of earn something else. And then the other, I think, and it's because I talk to him a lot still. Omar. He's one of the best athletes I've ever played with.
Mm-hmm.
But he loved basketball. He was great at football. He was gifted, but he loved basketball. And I think if he had played, he would have played at a lower D1, but he could have played professionally overseas. I just think he was that good.
Yeah.
Him and, I only saw Lee Mullins play when I was young, but I still put Omar as the best basketball player in the school in IC history, which is saying a lot. And
you're gonna get some arguments on that.
Yeah, I know.
But that's the fun part of it with the young boy too. What's his name, Jalen?
So I guess I gotta go. The old era, this new era, Jalen better than I can't deny that. I'm talking pre 2015.
Okay.
The boys they get now, it's just different. High school is just different now.
Totally.
You think about the way the state's set up, and is good as you and I were athletes as middle schoolers, there's a chance we might not have ended up at Immaculate. St. Peter's or somebody may have swooped in the. Mm-hmm. One of my friends who played with us, Sean Morris, he talks about it all the time. Like, Troy, if you were in New Jersey during this day, you wouldn't have played at Immaculate, and Omar wouldn't have either. They would have given him a scholarship to go to St. Peter's or somewhere else. So yeah, I know Immaculate is not exactly like St. Peter's, but they're going after players in a different way, rather than having Finn show up at our elementary school.
Yeah.
But all respect, he's a great player, man. Fortunate it didn't work out at Syracuse. Seems like he's doing well at Rhode Island.
Yeah.
But yeah. So going back to he
special. I mean, he was special. He was special.
And he probably at least could have played overseas or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that basketball debate tough, like from Omar to Jalen to West to a bunch of other people. That's one conversation I just sit and listen and just let people argue over that. And I know, and I going back to your boys, the Lauderhands, they'll sit there and argue until they blue red in the face, man, about all this stuff. So,
they will,
yeah. Nah, cool, man. What's up? So Mitch and Omar. Now, even in your area, your best 5 athletes, just from your time in Essex County.
My time.
Or you wanted to say in general? That's fine too.
No. So, shoot, you tested my memory. So, oh man. It depends how you kind of stretch my era. So, I put Brevin Knight.
Brev, okay.
I'm being liberal with era. Mike Boyd.
Mike, yeah.
Probably the best athlete from Orange ever. I put Omar there. Mm-hmm. I can't remember. Montclair had a defensive lineman, but I don't know if I put him there. I'm trying to think. Irvington had a couple guys in hoops.
Yeah, they went on that little run.
They went on that run 5 or 6. So yeah, I gotta give somebody from that squad. I can't remember names though. I'd have to call one a lot of hands for names, and then and just being real about it, Glen Ridge had a pitcher that I think was like a big time college player. So I only give you 3 names, but I'd have to research some of the other ones. You caught me on the spot on that one.
Yeah, nah.
On that one.
It's all right, man. What's athlete? And then again, I'm gonna go back to Immaculate. And the reason I bring this up because think you the best athlete to ever come out of Immaculate, man?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
No.
Okay.
No, and that which is kind of crazy too, because not it's cocky. I mean, I was good, but Immaculate being so small, I mean, it had a ton of great athletes. Yeah. I mean, we had Olympians.
That's right.
Think about Latish, Lee, Lance Boston. No. I mean, I'm Hamilton Hughes. I feel like I'm up there. Gil. But I guess I just went kind of during an era where it was just loaded, between Gil and Omar and those guys. I'd probably give it to Omar.
Okay.
I'm forgetting some of the women athletes too, some of the female athletes too.
Absolutely.
From those hoop squads in the '90s that were really good, and I'm on. When they do their 75th anniversary edition of athlete, I'm on that list.
Okay, cool.
I'm not the best one, yeah.
Cool. And 2 more, and I'll leave you alone, man. What would you tell? Actually, you know what? I will ask it too. So, what would this Troy tell that senior year, 17, 18-year-old Troy? What advice would you give him?
Oh man. Oh, yeah, probably be more confident in how good I was.
Mm-hmm.
I probably didn't realize until late how even in college, some of my closest friends and some who played in the league. Actually, one of my good friends, he played for the Giants for a few years. We got on a Zoom together last summer, and he was reminding me, you're a good athlete, and I wasn't as confident as I should have been
Okay.
in my ability.
All right. Nah, fair enough. And it's probably like a part two of that. What's the best part about being Troy Austin?
Like I said earlier, my great friends.
Okay.
Nobody can contend with that group with my squad. I just and everywhere I've gone, I've just that's one thing I am. I've always been kind of cocky about. I just the people I roll with, the people who've had my back, just fantastic people, and a lot of that is what Immaculate was. Just so many great people,
Mm-hmm.
and that I really do consider them family. My wife makes fun of me all the time.
Yeah.
Because when Bruce passed away, I was like, he was family for me. I was at his house all the time at the park. And she was like, I just don't understand how all these people are family. I'm like, well, I mean, we went through some things together, and they're really good people. So want to make sure it stayed in my life.
No, absolutely. Rest in peace, Bruce. Absolutely,
No
man.
doubt. No doubt.
I didn't ask my fanned out question to you. Being down there. So when you see the head basketball of Duke basketball, do you call him Mike or you call him Coach K?
Oh, I call him Coach.
Okay.
I call him Coach. Well, I said, "What's up, Coach? How you feeling?"
Yeah.
I don't know if he's really listening to me, but yeah, I'm doing all right, Troy. He's good. He's it's one of those deals. When I was an intern here, I used to do some things with basketball. He didn't know who I was, but he was always good to me.
Yeah.
Always friendly, except on game days. You don't want to be around him. You don't want to be around him on game days. And even now, he's been really welcoming, and now I'm a little older, so I feel a little better about interacting.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, he better respect you, man. Jersey done helped him win some chips.
Hey, no doubt.
From Bobby Hurley to Jason Williams. Yeah, so you better be mindful of that. Absolutely. Nah, and I just wrapping up, man. One, just reaching out, man. Like you didn't hesitate to say, "Hey, not a problem, man." But I just wanted to say, just even hearing stuff I didn't know about in regards to you, man. I'm like, one, very, very proud of you, man. Just kind of what you've become and just your journey here, man. Even, you joked about not being able to get an MKA because of behaviors or whatever. Somehow they must have subsided because, again, you obviously turned out to be great here. And I just thought even some of the stuff you talked about, your mom passing and that .9 GPA without the one in front of it, you could easily, you could easily just fell by the wayside and just said the hell with your life, man. But you took all that stuff that's kind of been, some turmoil or some hard times, man, and spun it around to make a hell of a life for yourself and or your family here. And then I know you got the two younger ones. Seemed like you waited like me to have a kid, man. Like I always joke with everybody. I think I look like my daughter's grandfather than her father. Yeah. So, but I just say all that to say, man. Again, carved out like I said, a great life, man. You're down there, obviously doing your thing at Duke. But I just think, again, the one thing just even taken away from this, man, you just never forgot, where you come from. And I think even your core group of friends, as you alluded to multiple times, just talking, man. And that says a lot here. And I know it's the old adage, sometimes you are the company you keep, but sometimes you do outgrow, like, career-wise and professionally, your friends, but you never lose them. As far as in regards, you're still with them no matter what the highs and the lows, that they go through or what have you, and just being there for them. And it just sounds like right from day one, you just continue to be there for them, no matter how where your career takes you to or your life is taking you to, man. And that's to be commended because you easily could have been like, I'm up over here. I ain't got time for you guys, but that's never the case here. And I think, just that foundation your parents said and probably even your older brother and then spilling over to elementary school at Immaculate, high school, all that just becomes you, man. And I just say, one, thank you, just for being who you are, man. It's just been great. Again, just to kind of have a conversation here with you here, just to see everything that you've become, man. And I think you just, being officially you, just help it become officially it, whether you know it or not, man, because I think it's just one of those things. Though it's a small in school, we big in stature as far as being at Immaculate, as far as what we all want to do. And, making sure that lineage is still there, but also just that camaraderie, no matter what, man. I mean, in regards to talk about Immaculate. But again, I just want to say thank you, Troy. And like I said, I've said it multiple times and I say it again, man. Like I said, I'm very proud of you, man. And like I said, continue to do what you do, man. And, thank you. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, man. Thank you for this opportunity to go down kind of memory lane and look forward to a time when I can get up there and we can just kick it, man. This was great. Thank you. And let me know if there's anything I can do to help you or help the cause or whatever, man. This has been great.
Nah, definitely, man. Definitely. I appreciate it, man. And I know you got to get back to work, man. And but like I said, we'll go from there. And, you can tell Dave, stay off my back, too.
And they will do. Yeah.
Nah, but we'll talk. And definitely, I'll keep that in mind, vice versa, man. I know, like I said, I know I think Jason tried to reach out while we was down, but we was in and out so fast.
Yeah. So, next time you come down, man, hit me up and during basketball season, get you guys some tickets or something. Just let me know.
All right, no problem, man. You can't get us no Carolina tickets, can you?
I'm just messing with you. Wrong side of the tracks, man.
Yeah, man, I'm just messing with you. I just thought I'd mess with you, man. But be well, Troy, and all best to you and your family, man. And definitely we'll communicate one way or another here.
Sounds good. Be easy.
Likewise. Peace.
Good
stuff, man. Great guy. That's all you can say. I mean, when it's all said and done, great guy. You can fill in the rest of the narrative about him here. Like I said, it's nothing but good, positive things. I'm very proud of him. That said, I'm out on this one. Put my hand over my heart. That means I feel you. Yeah.